You may have just gotten into trading, or you may have been trading for 3, 4, or even 5+ years. Now the question going into 2024 is scalping still necessary? So in this video, I'm going to be revealing the 5 disadvantages and the 5 advantages of scalping going into 2024, and I'm going to be giving you guys live examples, right? So let's go ahead and get started with disadvantage number 1. Scalping takes intense, extreme focus, right? You have to be on your A game when scalping inside the markets. If you're not on your A game, the market will literally run off with your money like a robber from the bank, right? Now, let me go ahead and give you a live example of what that looks like, right? So here we have here. Number 1, not being on your A game. Knowing where you are inside of the market, because the market ultimately is telling you a story. So if you do not know where you are inside of the market, that is a huge disadvantage, because now you can lose a trade that you thought you were going to win because you were solely focused on the minor structure of price, right? So in this example, we would have taken a loss because we did not pay attention to the shift in the structure, or we did not pay attention to understanding that we are at a major level of resistance, right? So currently we are on the 5-minute time frame, and from the looks of it, in hindsight, this just looks like a break and retest of this minor level of resistance, right? Break, look above, retest. However, like I said, if you're not on your A game and you do not understand where you're at, and you don't understand the story of the market telling you, you could have easily taken a loss here at this trade, at this price point here, because you did not know the overall story and you did not pay attention to the details of price. So we also have this level of resistance. So if we go to the 1 hour time frame, we can see here that this is a level of resistance here. So that is not an area where we want to buy. So that definitely lets us know that we have to pay attention when scalping inside the markets, right? Now, so that leads me to disadvantage number 2, limited profit potential, right? So here we have a smaller move. If I disconnect and go to the replay, here we have a small move. So we have this trend line break and retest. Even if we have a level of resistance here, break and retest. If we were only to carry price to the next high, which is this level right here, then we would have only got 27 points outside of this move, right? So based off of this move, we only have 27 points, but our stop loss is literally, it will have to be 20 points, because it will have to be under this level of support here. So we're only getting 27 points out of this move. So that is a disadvantage when scalping, because you're not actually getting the bigger moves that you would have if you were like intraday trading, or even swing trading. So that's something that you guys want to definitely take mind and take note of, is that when you're scalping, you're not going to always get those bigger moves that you sometimes would anticipate for. So you just have to keep that in mind, right? So that leads me to disadvantage number 3. You can be faked out easily, a lot easier on smaller time frames. So when you're scalping, you're on the 1 minute, the 5 minute, or sometimes even the 15 minute, you can be easily faked out on the chart when price looks like it's going to break beneath a level of support and then comes right back in and test it as a level of support. So what that looks like is here. We have this level of support here, where price looks like on the 5-minute time frame that is breaking beneath this level of support. Now, if you're a super antsy trader, or you see price break beneath and you don't wait on the retest, then if you're just scalping, then like I said, you can easily get faked out, because here price looks like it broke beneath this level of support, but in reality it gave us a fake out, closed back inside here, and then gave us this huge bullish push. However, if you're just scalping and you're not paying attention to the overall time frames like we talked about in disadvantage 1, then it's easy for you to get faked out, because the smaller time frames are not respected as much as the higher time frame. So think about it like this: if I'm playing chess, if I have a pawn, the pawn can be relative to like the 5-minute or 1 minute time frame, but I have other chess pieces that weigh more than the pawn. So if I have a king or a queen, those can easily take over a pawn in the chess match. So the same thing inside the market. If the smaller the time frame, the less weight it holds. So when I have a break of a small 5-minute time frame, that doesn't give me too much validity in price, right? That doesn't give me a concrete data to say, okay, price is going to continue to break and go further lower in this example because it's a smaller time frame. So whenever you're looking for those concrete answers, you want to look on a higher time frame and not just on the smaller time frame, because like I said, disadvantage number 3, you can easily get faked out. Right now, on to disadvantage number 4. When scalping, you have to make quicker decisions. You literally have to make quicker decisions, right? Since you have to make such quicker decisions when scalping, the moves that you are looking for are a lot faster, right? So it eliminates the time that you have to make decisions. And if you can't make decisions fairly quickly, then you can literally miss the move that you're overall looking for, right? So that's something that you guys want to pay attention to, because if you know that you don't make decisions really fast, then you do not need to be a scalper. If you panic by making decisions fast, then you do not need to be a scalper. If you can't fathom what you're looking at and process it in a fast period of time, then you do not need to be a scalper. So that is, like I said, one of the disadvantages that you may come across when you are scalping in 2024, right? Now, for the 5th and final disadvantage of scalping in 2024, you do not have a lot of room for error, right? So what that means is you do not have a lot of mess up room. So when you're in a trade, if I look at this minor trade here, we had a small break and retest of this little trend line here. Break, retest, this would have been our entry, right? Had this been our entry on 5-minute structure, then we only have price to pretty much this amount of wiggle room, which is 26 points, right? Which is a decent amount, but understand the concept of sometimes you have to let your trade breathe. So in this case, yeah, price played out, but if I was to look at this on a higher time frame structure, such as the 1 hour, if I wanted to give this trade room to breathe, I would have to put my stop loss beneath this level, this previous structure level here. So that there's a difference between the 26 pip stop loss and a 67 pip stop loss. Now, like I say, even though this trade played out on the minor structure, the scalping structure, it doesn't necessarily mean that every single time it's going to play out. So you want to ensure that you give your trades enough room to breathe. But the reason why I use this example is because had I only been targeting this level of resistance based off of this 5-minute time frame, so the next level of resistance, had I only been targeting that, then this would have only been a 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio, and that's not always what we want to look for. You want to typically look for a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, or even 3-to-1 risk to reward ratio. So based off of the stop loss that I would have had to use in the first target, this would have only been a 1-to-1. Now our second targets would have gave us a 2.7-to-1 risk to reward ratio, which is pretty good. But like I said, this could have easily trickled down and fluctuated in this little area here and still not hit this stop loss. But you don't want to be one of those people that have your stop losses super tight where you get stopped out prematurely because you're not letting the trade breathe. So like I said, that's one of the disadvantages that you'll come across if you're scalping, is by having your stop losses too close and always, well, not always, but typically getting your trade stopped out prematurely, right? Now, before we get to the advantages of scalping in 2024, I will be discussing how to scalp the markets like a pro in my next 3-day bootcamp that will be hosted from January 26th through the 28th. Get your tickets and sign up in the link in the description. The pre-order sales are going for literally $99. So I've never done anything like this for this inexpensive. So make sure you guys, like I said, visit the link in the description to get inside of my 3-day bootcamp before the slots fill up, right? So like I said, that the link is in the description, and if you are watching this video, you can take advantage of the sell opportunity for only $99, right? So definitely take advantage of that. All right, but now on to the 5 advantages. All right, so advantage number 1, you can make quick profits. When you're scalping inside of the markets, you can literally get in and out the move without having to hold it all day. So in this scenario right here, this was a quick scalp based off a break and retest of this trend line. So we had a break and then we had a retest here. So if we would have entered this trade right here at this area right here and had our targets based off of these highs, we would have literally been in and out of this move by literally less than 5 hours. So less than 5 hours to get a move that was over 100 plus pips, in less than 5 to 6 hours, that is great. So that's definitely an advantage of scalping, because, you know, unlike swing traders, some swing traders, they might have to wait, you know, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days, or even up to a week, or even 2 weeks. And for intraday traders, they might have to wait for, you know, a day, 24 hours, or even 2 days. So being a scalper definitely has its advantages, because in this case, in this scenario, as long as you know where you're at and you're not, you know, following the disadvantages of scalping, which is not knowing where you're at inside of the market, then you can take advantages. You can take advantage of moves like this where you're in and out of the market and do not have to hold it all day. So that's definitely, like I said, one of the advantages that you can take advantage of, right? Now, advantage number 2 of scalping in 2024. You have many more trade opportunities to take advantage of. So in this example here, I showed that you had 3 different trade opportunities from scalping. So this trade opportunity, we simply had a trend line break and retest where we could have took advantage of this sell opportunity here, right? So when we took this sell, it carried to this next level of support, and then we were out of the trade, right? So we understand that since this is on a smaller time frame, we are in a downtrend structure here. So once we started to get a break, let's go to the 5-minute time frame. Yeah, up here. On our 5-minute time frame, we could see that we had a break and retest of this level of support here. So we broke beneath and came back to retest. So this was another opportunity that we could take advantage of for scalping here. And then we had almost a 2 to 1 risk to reward ratio based off of this move right here, right? So we could definitely take advantage of the break and retest. So that's trade 1 that happened around, you know, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock in the morning. And then we had another trade during Asian session that we definitely could have took advantage of. And like I said, we have multiple opportunities, right? Then the next day comes around and we have a trend line break and retest from this downtrend structure transitioning to an uptrend structure, and then price played out for over 180 points, right? So that's something definitely we could take advantage of. We had 3 different trade opportunities within this 1 to 2 24-hour period, right? So with scalping, you definitely have a lot more opportunities that you can take advantage of, as long as you understand where exactly you are at in the market and understanding the flow. So you have to be able to read the market. You have to be able to understand, okay, are we in a temporary downtrend? Are we in a temporary uptrend? What is the structure that I'm in? And what are the possibilities of this trade going in my favor, right? So that's definitely an advantage that you want to take advantage of, right? So that leads me to my next advantage. Advantage number 3. You have the opportunity to have a lot lower risk when you are scalping. Now, although you could deem this as a disadvantage, if you know exactly where you're at and you understand the risk that you are partaking in, scalping can literally give you great risk to reward ratios, right? So when you get those banger trades where you have 3 to 1, 4 to 1 risk to reward ratio, or even like a 10 to 1 risk to reward ratio, that's something that you can be proud of, and it's something that comes with scalping, right? It's an advantage that you can have those, you know, those banger trades, those home run trades, but they don't come, you know, often, but it's still an advantage that you can, you know, utilize while you are scalping, because of course you have a lot lower risk. So in this case, if we risk, you know, 20 points and we're looking to gain 250 points, that's a 12-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And if it plays out, then we only risk a small amount of our capital versus risking a higher amount. So definitely take advantage of those when you are scalping. But like I said in the first point, that you have to know where you're at in the market to definitely take advantage of this, and you have to be very skillful in understanding the flow. So that leads me to advantage number 4, flexibility. Scalping comes with extreme flexibility, because when you're a scalper, you can potentially hold your trades longer if needed. You also get those sniper entries, versus if you were a swing trader. Swing traders really don't rely on having the best entry inside of the market. They simply kind of go with the overall trend. They get an entry and they're willing to accept that it may go into deeper amounts of drawdown, versus a scalper can get a sniper entry and understand the bigger move and take advantage of a higher risk to reward, like we talked about in advantage 3, and then also having a lot smaller risk, and also understanding that if the scalper wanted to become a swing trader, it's easier to transition from a scalper to a swing trader, because you already are working with the more difficult time frames. The higher the time frame, the easier it is for you to trade it. But when you're already used to the smaller time frames, you definitely could take advantage of transitioning into being an intraday trader, or even being a swing trader. So you have a lot more flexibility as a scalper, right? Now, advantage number 5 of scalping in 2024 will be you do not have to hold your trades and be in the market for long periods of time, right? So when you think about it in the terms of working, so if you treat day trading as your full-time income, or even getting a flow of treating it as a job, you would think about scalping in the terms of working a half day for the same amount of pay as you would as if you went a full day. So if you normally work 8 to 10 hours and your boss told you, hey, you can come in for 4 hours instead of the 8 to 10 and I'll still pay you the same amount, that's an advantage, because now you get off work early. So same thing inside of the market. When you learn how to scalp, you can get out of your trades and be done early and not have to worry about, is your trade going to pull back into profit or pull back into drawdown, or did it hit your target and then reverse? Like, you don't have to worry about that when you're scalping. So you're literally in and out, so you do not have to be in the markets for long periods of time. So that's one of my favorite advantages of scalping, because like this trade off of this break in this retest, if I were to enter price here, price literally hit our target for over 200 points in less than 3 hours. So less than 3 hours, you could have made X amount of money, whether it was $100, $500, $1,000, $10,000. It happened in less than 3 hours, guys. So understanding that scalping comes with its disadvantages, and it also comes with its advantages as well. But that's the beauty of it, because it has its ups and its downs. But as long as you know how to make scalping work for you, then you can become the best trader that you want to be in 2024.